Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. There were 5 new heroes and a Toon Tiki banner staying live. Obviously, this comes with the 14 bond to go with it. So let's go from there. So with Toon Tiki, Ancient Voice, effect against Dragon Foes, also sells the trigger on one, and because you're checking it, if foes use to calculate damage, use lower the post defense or res. Then at the start of turn, it's using 2 speeds of an ally, speed defense plus 6, bulwark, and neutralize penalties on the unit during combat. It's going to her and ally to 2 speeds of her turn. And it's using 3 speeds of an ally. Calculate damage using 150% of her defense instead of the value of her attack when special triggers, excluding her specials. So I believe this that's 50% of her defense essentially. Like a user defense and then 50% of that defense if I'm doing math right here. I said that if she's from 3 speeds of an ally, grants bonus or attack speed defense rest equal to number of allies from 3 speeds of her times 3 plus 5. The maximum is 14. Deal damage equals to 20% of her defense. This excludes her specials. And foe's first attack is reduced by 20% of her defense. First attack means first strike, yada yada yada. And so if her defense is equal or greater than foe's defense plus 5, this was her and foe's skills that would change attack priority during combat. So basically, what it means by that is like bounties can't trigger and whatnot, or even Ikes, or even patience in that matter. Aside that, bulwark, if foe chooses in, foe can move through space adjacent to that unit, and the range is 2, within 2 spaces basically. Dragon Flame boosts damage by 80% of defense, and restores HP equal to restores first hand for maximum HP when special triggers. I'm not good reading here. If both the conditions are met, foe's next attack is reduced by 40%. If her special is ready, foe's special is ready or triggers during foe's combat, if foe initiates combat or her defense is equal or greater than foe's defense minus 10. This affects once per combat as because our specials. Distant bonus doubler, concur attack regardless of foe's range, and then grants attack speed defense plus X to her equal to has bonus stats between her and allies and 2 of her. And those bonuses are calculated independently. I know it says plus X, but I just explained the X star. Edge skills. If foe uses combat or her HP is 20% or above start combat, speed defense rest minus 4 on the foe, deals damage equal to 15% of the foe's attack. This is good as her specials. Foe's first attack is by 15, and increases speed difference outside to make a follow attack by 10 during combat. And then also she has space of foe, neutral effects guarantees foe's attack and prevents hers. Love for all is unique. For her allies from 3 speeds of her, attack speed defense rest plus 5, and crowning count minus 1 for the first attack. If she's from 3 speeds of an ally, reduces her effects specials, damage from her specials by the number of allies within 3 species of her times 40. This is up to 8%, so just need maximum 2 basically. This excludes Roker. And then if she's from 3 species of an ally, attack speed defense rest plus 5 to her. Reduce time foe's first attack by X times 4. Max is 14. And your colon count minus X to her before the foe's first attack during combat. The axis is number of allies refused of her. The maximum is 3 by the way. And also when her special triggers, neutralize foes reject to act effect by non-special skills. Excluding her specials. And the Attune skill here, because it's a Toon unit, you get 3 Scarlet Horns plus a skill. The exact time the unit's gone. Red's Scarlet Echo, so it's probably exclusive to dragons. Foe needs to combat or foe's CP is 7% or above start combat. Rest plus 4 to her during combat. And so if foe's second trigger foe's special, and her resistance is equal or greater than foe's resistance plus 5. Colon count plus 1 is inflicted on the foe before the first attack during combat. This will never exceed the maximum colon count. Then we have Ancient Naga, Ancient Majesty, excels per trigger counts 1. Right. If I can try and quote, this is the same sort of effect as Tiki's one. I think it is the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same. So then we'll cover the rest of it. So start with player ending phase. If her HP is 20% or above, attack rest minus 7, frozen, and guard is inflicted on the close foe, and any foes in 2 spaces of those versions action. Frozen increases speed difference to make a follow attack by X. If the defense is if the foe's defense is greater than this unit's defense, it's 10 and plus 7 to the stats times 2, otherwise X is 10. And guards and connects can minus 1 on the unit per attack during combat. So it's basically a lot, it's just hinders things really. And then so our combat HP is 20% or above. Grants bonus or attack speed to Fantress equal to the number of allies from previous combat center of her times 3 plus 5. The maximum is 14. Deals damage equal to 15% of the foe's attack, excluding air effect specials. And reduces the percentage of foe's non-special attack action skill by 50% during combat. Also excludes air effect specials. Dragon's Roar boosts damage by 40% of her resistance by triggers. And then if her foe's special is ready or triggered 4 during combat. And her rest is equal to foe's rest minus 4 during combat. Foe's next attack is reduced by 40% during combat. This is once per combat and exclude air specials. Attack rest go 4. If when you combat, order HP is 70% or above. As our combat, attack rest plus 7 during combat. And then full attack, and then the rest of it is just scaled back from Tiki's rest skull. Where her resistance is equal to foe's resistance plus 5. And foe's second trigger her special, Konokai minus 1. Sorry, plus 1, and as you can see, max 5. Attack rest near chance 4, names Kado, remaining plus 1, minimum 2. Attack rest minus 4 on the foe, and she deals 7 damage, means when special triggers before combat. Sorry, that's including, Kado just means after attack as the skill is restriction here again. Its remaining space is plus 1, obviously, if you move twice in attack, you've got 1, don't move in attack, you've got all 3. And the minimum 2 is basically if you warp, then you're going to move 2 spaces. This is typically once per turn, unless a fact is re-enable it. You cannot warp, unless a fact says like return something on. And skills that would give you an action like Gale Force would trigger first. Unless it says after content, in which case, after that of course. The Fang Golf Fang is her unique. Eyes and 2 speeds of her can work within 2 speeds of her. Then let's start the player enemy phase. If she's within 2 speeds of an ally, you're granted the effect against strength bonuses, and then you neutralize the effect against strength bonuses and the MV skill to her and allies in 2 speeds of her from turn. MV is bonuses to the stats equal to the number of effects active on your team, and penalty effects that are also active on. Sorry, bonus or penalty effects that are active on any player or enemy team. Sorry. My mistake. Bonuses just have last return, the penalties are just debuffs, you know that's that. And then you refuse with an ally, attacks with the pressure plus 7, deals plus 7 damage, excluding her specials. Reduce time for who's attacked by 7, excluding her specials. And grants can come plus 1 to her per attack during combat. Highest price applies as a stack. Let's move on to Goto. Fundament. Excels with trigger comes 1. Start at the player enemy phase, if HP is 20% or above. Attack rest plus 6, reduces effect specials by 80%, and neutralizes boosts during combat. Granted to him and allies on 2 speeds of him for the turn. And then start combat if HP is 20% or above. Inflicts penalty foe's attack rest equal to 20% of his resistance at start combat plus 6. Deals damage equal to 20% of his resistance, including the air effect special this time. Reduces damage to foe's attack by 20% of his resistance, although this excludes air effect specials. And he's guaranteed to follow up attack during combat. And then restores 7 HP soon after combat. Glacius Recharge boosts damage by 80% of his resistance. Gift of Guidance. Attack defense rest plus 10, unconditional here. Then at start turn, if HP is 20% or above, grants Kunkai minus 2 to himself and Kunkai minus 1 to allies within 2 speeds of him. Also, if those allies are magic staff, an additional minus 1 cooling count is granted to them. And then at start combat, if HP is 20% or above, penalty and foe's attack gets neutralized, inflicts Kunkai minus 1 on foe per attack, has ++ in the stack, and reduces the percentage of foe's non-special sets of X skill by 50% during combat. Obviously, true events this war, but all numbers will round up. And this goes to our specials. Attack rest havoc. At start of the player enemy phase. Attack rest minus 7. Sabotage in Schism is inflicted on foes with less resistance than him that are within 2 speeds of another foe in his action. Then after start turn skills trigger on your phase. If the number of foes with the sabotage effect on the map is 2 more, Canto 1 is granted to him for the turn. Then attack rest minus foe. 4 on the foe, deals damage equal to 20% of resistance during combat. Excluding our specials. Sabotage inflicts penalties on this unit's attack speed defense res during combat. Equal to has penalties on each of those stats between them and allies when chooses them. Schism neutralizes Triangle, Dual Strike, and Pathfinders. And if this effect is neutralized, they're neutralized as well. And then Pulse of Ploy. At the start of turn, grants Counter -1. At the start of the player enemy phase, if any foe in free comp center of him has less resistance than him +5. Ploy and Explosion is fixed on them from this action. Ploy neutralizes the bonus doubler, treachery, and grand strategy. So we don't really need to explain those ones. And Explosion strategy take extra damage. Then we have Medeus, Ancient Betrayal. Attack +3, Bolt range 2, character have to choose lower cancer raise. At the start of the player enemy phase, if HP is 100% or above, grants Accuracy +6 on guard. And neutralizes foe's bonus combat to him and allies when 2 speeds of him for the turn. On guard neutralizes damages outside of combat. Poison strike and all that stuff is neutralized essentially. Except artifact specials. At the start of turn, if HP is 100% or above, penalty is affected on foe's attack defense raise equal to 20% of its resistance +5 at the start of combat. He deals +X damage, excluding effect specials. Reduces damage to foe's attack by X, excluding effect specials. And the X is the number of staff and dragon allies on the map, excluding himself, times 5 +10, max 20, so 2 gives you the maximum benefit. And also, if foe's attack can trigger foe's special, and his stress is equal or greater to foe's stress +5, Counter commands +1 on the foe before the first attack. Usually can't see maximum counter count. Glacius is. We covered that already? Yes, we did. Defense Trust Code 3, it's just the weaker version of Nagi's one. In all the regards. It's defense stress +6, the usual spiel there. +9 instead of +5. And attack ploy 3. Start turn, attack -5 and post counter action with less resistance to him for this action. That's your banner. Tiki's probably going to be your best one if you want the attuned unit. Better not, best stuck on your Thomas unless. I already have her. So I'm just going to be the most. I'm going to do the odd thing, go for red because I don't have Godo. That's just me. You may be different. Well, that's not for. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's about it. Best looking Thomas. I'll see you next time.